So sorry everyone, apologies to keep you waiting for this session, and we are thankful to you, sir, for joining this session. And as the global mobility ecosystem rapidly transitions towards the electrification, automation, and hyperconnectivity, one challenge has emerged as absolutely non-negotiable, that is the cybersecurity. So in a world where vehicles are evolving into the computer on wheels, safeguarding their digital integrity is also essential at our end. So today's session, that is the cyber security solutions for sustainable mobility, will take us deep into the strategies, technologies, and protective architecture that are shaping the secure future transportation systems. And to guide us through this extremely crucial topic, we are honored to have with us Mr. Puranjan sir, who is a highly accomplished expert from the Indian automotive ecosystem. Sir is having more than 21 years of rich R&D experience in the automotive industry. He is the proud alumnus of NIT Hambipur in electrical engineering, followed by an MBA from Faculty of Management Studies, University of Delhi. Over the span of his career, he has worked with some of the most respected automotive names Maruti Suzuki, Suzuki Motor Corporation Japan, and Mahindra, contributing to the design and development of advanced automotive electronics, including ECUs, alternators, starter motors, relays, and engine sensors. He has also been a key contributor to the development of bi-fuel, that is CNG controller systems for Maruti vehicles, a milestone in India's journey toward cleaner and sustainable fuel technologies. Currently, Sir is serving as the head of department for Boot Cyber Security Solutions and Tools, overseeing the crucial functions such as software autocode generation, automated testing frameworks, and secure boot mechanisms for next generation ECUs. His deep technical insight, global exposure, and hands on expertise in vehicle electronics and embedded security positions him uniquely to decode what it truly takes to build cyber secure and sustainable mobility platforms. So, we welcome you, sir, and I hope the participants will be benefited from your expertise.
Yeah.
Session is
Thank you
over
very
to you,
much.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Preeti, for detailed introduction. First of all, sorry for keeping you waiting. So this is also one of the example of cyber security. So our system is very secure to share the screen. So I think with the help of IT, I'm able to do it. So main topic of our today's discussion is related to cyber security solution for sustainability mobility. Basically, we are protecting the modern transport through advanced digital defenses system. So in this, Yash, can you move next slide? So main topics which we will be covering is there are five topics which we will be covering. So first topic is related to the core technology, like what is the evolution from mechanical to software defined vehicle and some electrified vehicles. So that kind of journey from mechanical to advanced electronics that I'll cover. And after that, since there is a electronification in the vehicle, so definitely there are threats are attached. So what kind of threats are there to the connected and electrified vehicles, and what is the need of cyber security? That part I'll cover in second part. And after that, I'll briefly cover about the safety and security concept. What is the safety and safety security concept that I'll cover. Then in fourth part, detail related to the cyber security in automotive field. What are the potential touch points? What kind of regulations are there in globe and India as well? And what are the cyber security management approval processes are there in automotive sector that I'll cover. And after that, I'll cover detail related to the security implementation in the vehicle. So where we will have some detail implementation part, like in software, how we are implementing the cyber security. So that I'll be covering. So first, let us start with the car technology journey. So yes, can we move next slide? So basically, till 19th century, if you see the diagram, so there is in beginning, like we have a one steam powered car, and then thereafter there is a evolution and it comes to the gasoline, some ignition type gasoline engines. Now in today's scenario, like 20th century onwards, there is the autonomous cars. So you had seen many autonomous car like Uber, Tesla, or some Baidu. So actually we think like in this case only like in automotive, when we think about automotive sector, so we think only mechanical engineer has a role. But actually in automotive sector, so there is not only the mechanical engineer have now role. So it many engineers like in different vast fields like electronics, computer science, even mechanical and electrical, and even the design engineers. So every engineer or every engineering field has a role in today's automotive field. So I think there is a lots of potential opportunities for every engineer to join automotive area. Okay, next slide. So now I'll just briefly cover about the like how technology changes. Like till 19th century, we have a powertrain system. Powertrain system is mainly is related to the energy of the vehicle. So that is the engine. So earlier, as I told you, there are steam engines, there are gasoline engines, but now there is a revolution. So revolution now all powertrain system has been electronified. So in 20th century onwards, they are like engine management system for petrol, gasoline, even diesel and biofuel. So after that, there's a like a era of hybrid engines. Then comes to the fuel cell. Fuel cell mainly is in transport like heavy vehicles side, and there is a electrical vehicles. So there is a big transition from like in powertrain system as well. And next slide. And in braking system also, if you see like in beginning of like when vehicle technology came, then that time there is a wooden blocks are being used for braking. Then there comes to the mechanical drum braking system in the like in 1902. So mechanical drums were introduced. Then there is the hydraulic brake system was came. But now 20th century onwards, there is a complete change in the braking system, and there is a complete electronification. So basically we have a ABS, some ESC. So if you see the ABS side, like there is a braking, but if you see right side the figure, like if without ABS, if we are turning and we are braking, then there is a tilt, and it can smoothly can brake and it can like turn. But if it is without ABS, then there is a complete collision. So that kind of technology is there, and then thereafter autonomous emergency braking is there. So in that case, like for example, there is a system in the vehicle, like it can detect the pedestrian, it can detect the vehicle, it can detect the speed of next vehicle, and accordingly apply the braking even you are not applying by manually. So that kind of transition is there in braking system. Next, next slide please. Similarly, in transmission and air conditioning, also there is a similar kind of transition or evolution. So, from mechanical or manual system, there is a complete automation. Like in automatic, there is a transmission, and there is a steering where by wire is there. And similarly, in AC also there is a auto AC system. So there is a controller. So controller gets the humidity sensor inputs, some cabin temperature inputs, some external temperature sensor inputs, then user inputs. Then accordingly, operate the air conditioning and flaps. So if you see next slide, so if you see like there is a complete evolution of vehicles. So initially there is a mechanical, then comes to the controllers, then nowadays there is coming the domain controllers, because now in standard car itself we have a 15 to 20 ECUs are there average. In luxury car it has a crossing approximately 100 ECUs per vehicle. So now these ECUs are again group. They are making the groupism, like group in the sense like there is a making a domain controls. For example, ADAS, powertrain body, and inside that this same one controller DCU unit is controlling the all functions. So then nowadays, what is there? There is a software defined vehicle which is called SDV. So now we have a different controllers. Like if every controller there is a software development, hardware development, and everything, then there is a huge risk of like in terms of cost, in terms of interface interactions. So SDV software defined vehicles are in picture. So only to make a centralized computing system, operating system, and middleware, and over the air also updates are there in through the say SDV. Then there comes to the electrical vehicle. Like we have electrical vehicle, we have connected cloud native. So basically there is a huge transition from mechanical to electronics, and there is a complete electronification in the automotive sector. So now can you move to next slide? Now, since as I said, like in first phase we discussed there is a completely electronification of the vehicle, and there are number of ECUs were introduced, and there are the possibility of threat. So what European Union of Agency of Cybersecurity, they introduced classified major threats, like there can be the physical threats, there can be the unintentional damage, there can be some malicious actions like malware or ransom, and there can be the hardware and software failures, and there can be the overall network and cloud failures also, and there is a interception, there can be the some unauthorized activities, and there can be some regulatory threats, so like IP risk and patent risk. So these kind of threats are there when there is the electronification of vehicle. So now, to mitigate this threat, can you move to next slide? Yeah. So, okay. First, I'll show you the like how these are the like since we have electronification, how dangerous it is. Like if our systems are not secured. So I'll show because you might have seen the hackers remotely killing the Jeep in case of Tesla. So it was being hacked, and even the BMW, Hyundai also there is a hacking. So I'll show you one video. I think you must have seen also this movie. So this video is mainly to show you like what are the threats and how it can be dangerous for the electronification, but how important is the security. Okay. So you can see the hackers are like controlling the vehicles, because since all are like their safety limits are being disabled, and there are like auto driving are activated, so vehicles are getting auto drive. So there are different features like collision avoidance system, some safety mechanism. All features are being disabled by hackers, and now you can see like there are huge prone to the accident, and even the hackers can control everything. This lady is not able to brake because it's already autonomous braking is there, but it is already been hacked. So there is a okay. Yes, can you move next? Okay, this is the just showing you how it dangerous it can be there. Like okay, electronification is there, but cyber security fails, then how it can be dangerous. So similar way, if you go to the next video, so you can see like how hackers can control the how they can enter by there is a keyless entry, how they can enter without any key by hacking your system. So he has already hacked the key, so now he has enabled the disabled the security, and they can drive. I think the audio is not there. Anyway, can you move fast it? Yes. Yeah. So now this you can see like hackers, you have a key. So hackers already hacked this key. Okay. Then there is another person who is controlling the vehicle. So they already entered and stolen the vehicle. So these are the practical cases are there. Like security, even safety. So if these are not in place, then definitely this electronification can be dangerous. So this is the why there is a need of cybersecurity. So if you go to the next slide, so now we will just explain you. For example, now we have already covered the electronification. We have already seen why it is important to have a cyber security and protections and safety protections. Now comes to the what is the difference between safety and security, like threat and hazard. So basically, if I talk about security, so security deals with the outs, because if you in your like a household also, for example, security, we are saying like what kind of security systems are there in place in our house. For example, there is a camera, some other there is a gate and everything. So that kind of security, and similar way in vehicle also, from security is related to deal with the protection against the threat which are originated by human from outside. Okay. Similarly, there is a safety. Safety is related to the hazards which are can be the probable risk or probable hazards which can be there when we are our system or product or device is operating. So this is the difference between the safety and security. Security is mainly related to the threats outside, and safety is related to the hazards with the functioning of our vehicle or product. So basically, in product there is a threat and there is a safety and security. So both mechanism we need to introduce. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So what is the characteristics? For example, security, as I said you, it's a potential protection against the unintentional attacks, which include the accidents or some hazard of the on the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the information which is there, or the software which is available in the system. Clear cases. For example, inside a vehicle, which I have introduced to avoid the failure, safety and security. Next slide. Okay. So now in the vehicle, basically we have a safety and we have a security. So in some terms of safety, there is a separate regulation which is called ISO 262, which is thinking about the hazard analysis, fail-safe design of the critical functions. Similarly, other side we have a cyber security. Cyber security related to the outside, like what kind of a secure design we have, what kind of a threat we are moderating, and what kind of risk we have assessed for the external threats. And there is a high like a hardware soft security mechanism. There is a key management system, for example, when like safety as well as security, so both has to be in place. Security and safety is being overlapped, and we as a automotive engineer has to take care about the security as well as the safety of any device or the vehicle. Next. Okay. So now I just show you the what are the cyber, not only the vehicle. We have a just a moment. So it is not only the vehicle, but we have a complete system where there is a potential touch points where there can be the cybersecurity threats. So for that, like in automotive, it is not limited to the car itself. It extends to the whole network. Like in a car, basically, it's the internal security as well as but the infrastructure also, because it's communicating outside the car. So we have a there is a touch point or there the like potential risk outside also. So these, so we need not to take care about only the vehicle side, but outside also there is threats, so we need to take care about that. So it's not only the automotive, but we have a automotive car only we need to take care about the security, but we need to even our internal system, which but we are developing this different vehicles, or we are developing different parts. So those all softwares or all the systems we need to take care about in terms of the cyber security. Okay, so each layer we have to secure, whether it is related to the vehicle, whether it is related to the infrastructure. So these are the potential touch points like vehicles as well as the infrastructure is the potential touch point for the cyber security. So as an automaker, yes, can you move to next slide? Yeah. Okay. So now we talk about the potential touch points. So now we will talking about the regulations which are there in the system. Okay. So in this, we have a one side. If you see, actually all development in the software or the vehicle are based upon the V cycle. So V cycle, like we have a overall functions, overall goal, objective, and then there is a architecture design, then there is a system design, then there is a component design. So if you see the left side, we start with the function design, we start with the architecture design, then system and component. And right side, if you say, every function has to verify, every architecture need to verify, every design need to verify, every system need to verify, and even component need to verify. So for that we need to place the security as well as a safety. So in terms of security, we have a 21434 ISO. So for that, we need to define the security goals. We need to define the design functional security. We need to define at hardware and software level what are the software or safety security requirement. Similarly, for functional safety also, similar way, we need to define the safety goals. We need to define the function safety concept. We need to define the safety technical safety concept, and we need to define the component level what kind of hardware and safety requirements are there. So similar way, like at if you go the right side, we have a validation. So we have to verify function level. So we have a verify at the ISO 260 level safety level. We need to validate the safety goals. We need to validate the safety concept. We need to validate the safety technical concept. And similarly, we need to validate the hardware and software components. And similarly, cyber security point of view also, there is some requirement for validating your goals, for validating our overall architecture, for validating our system, and for validating our component hardware and software part. And now if you see right side, there is a, for example, we have a safety goals, we have a safety requirements, we have a safety design. Similar way, we have a security side also, there is a requirement, and there is a shared method to define the requirement, to define the goal. And similarly, for process also, we need to, for example, process point of view, we have a spice process which we need to follow. So which is supporting this cyber security and cyber safety, function safety. Okay. So next slide. So these are the like brief history about the how these there is a cyber security requirements and regulation. So basically, if I talk about, as I said you, like for example, we have a safety requirements. So safety is come under the ISO 262, okay, and ISO 21448. ISO 26262 is related to the component level, and ISO 21448 is related to the automotive vehicle level. Okay. Similarly, in safety side, that is the main like requirements, regulations. Cyber security side also, there are main requirements in automotive sector, like UN 1R155 and R156 is the main cyber security requirement which we need to regulation, which has to be compliance with. And similarly, in case of, because it's only, as I said, it's not only related to the vehicle, but it is related to the infrastructure also. So we need to secure our infrastructure through which we are developing our product. So for that, we have IT security privacy, and in that there is a different NIST SP or there is a ISO requirements which are there. And similarly, overall, we have a quality management system which is catering all these uh, regulations. And at the end, like, to support this, we have a ASPICE process or CERT, which is a system engineering related certifications or some regulation which we need to take care, which will support safety and cybersecurity requirement in the vehicle. So if you I talk about the regulation trend, how globally, like globally, in 2020, like in Feb, we have introduced R155 in cybersecurity. Then it was introduced, it was not mandatory, but in 21 it was published and it was made mandatory. Similarly, at the vehicle level, then there is a ISO 21434, which is related to again cybersecurity, which was introduced in 21 July, and then in 22 July, so R155 was made mandatory. So this is cybersecurity nowadays. It is mandatory regulation in the vehicle in the global. Okay, and similarly in July, this was a new vehicle. This was a, like, for example, in July 2022. So it was a mandatory for new vehicle. But by July 24, it was made mandatory for all vehicles. Okay. And similarly, if I talk about the in India, so India, we are just behind the global trend, but still we are catering. So in India, we have a AIS 189 which was drafted, which was in line to R155 for cybersecurity. And we have a target like in 2027, AIS 189 has to be made mandatory for the new vehicle, and 28 October, so it will be mandatory for all. So this is how the regulations are being implemented, and this is the overall plan of the regulation. Next slide. Okay. So now I think this is also related to the mainly what we have covered, like all regulations which are there. So if I talk about, as I already told, in June 2020, it was UNES EC, they introduced this two regulations, and mainly they deployed in basically 54 countries participated in this regulation. And now July 22 onwards it was made mandatory, and in 24 July onwards it was made mandatory for all vehicles. So this is overall about related to the, I think, regulation. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So again, this is the actually this slide cover the about the related to the regulations and what are the standards are there. So if you see in black, there is a regulations or law which has to which are mandatory, and standards are there which through which we need to make the take the compliance. And there is a best practice there. For example, UNEC is there, and some are related to some Asian countries. And I think most important part is ISO 262, which has to be mandatory. And similarly, there is a ISO 21434 at the vehicle level, which is there, and ISO 24085, which is the related to engineering process for development for it. Okay. So in case of, there are the regulations like ISO this 24084, which are related to the engineering section, which are not kind of the regulations or law, but these are the best practices. For example, so that is the why there are the and standard. Next slide. Yes, can you move to next slide? Okay. So now comes to the cyber security in automobile. automotive, which is the cybersecurity management system, which is there, as I explained you. So this is, as I said you, this is not limited to the product, but it requires the company's strategy at the product level. So basically, in SA or ISO 21434, we have to have a organization levels, for example, management system, and there are almost 15 process groups are there, which we need to make sure we need to compliance to these process group, and there are some annexures also which we need to compliance, make a compliance. So basically, this is the layer level instructions or kind of compliance or standards which we need to take care about when we are talking about not only parts but all related to the other infrastructure also. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now I'll talk about the approval process, like how, because now we had already talked about cyber security, what are the regulations, what are the standards are there. Now, how like approval process is there. Okay, how like usually component maker or OEM car maker used to get the approval. So basically, as I said you, at the component level there is a ISO 2143 for cybersecurity 434. So hardware supplier or tier 3 supplier, in tier 2 supplier and tier 1 supplier, which is for example hardware and software component level supplier are there, and component actual supplier and system level supplier. So if I talk about the AC system, okay, so AC there is a controller. Okay, that controller hardware and software maybe we some supplier like AC tier 1 supplier is Subros, for example. So Subros is getting some controllers from tier 2 supplier like Denso. Okay, and tier 2 Denso is getting some hardware and software from some Infineon or some other uh, MCU suppliers. So these are the complete chain. So in these case, tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3, everyone has to take care about take need to take the approval for the ISO 2134. And similar way in OEM vehicle level, so once these all component maker, for example, in a vehicle we have a AC system, we have a ABS system, we have a suspension system, we have a steering. So every component maker need to take the type approval of 21 at component level of 21434 at component level. Similarly, once they take the approval at component level, then OEM need to go for the approval authority. Like there is a TUV in India, there is a ARI, so they need to take the approval from them. Then there is a vehicle level type approval. So vehicle level, they will produce all certification of components, and they will do the testing at internal of cybersecurity. Then they will take the type approval for R155 and R156. So this is how there is approval process. Can you move to next slide? Okay. So if you see in this slide, so there is a cyber security and there is a safety. So both has to be taken care by component and vehicle level. So then there is a, as if you see, the third party certification are being taken care by systems and the component level. Then they need to take the system level approval, then whole vehicle level need to take the approval by reproducing the evidence of at the component level and their vehicle level testing. So then only once there is a type approval, then only any vehicle can be sold outside. So that is the mandatory case. So both case like cyber security and safety, so both approval has to be taken care by the component level, then at the vehicle level, then only vehicles can be sold out outside. So this is the how the cyber security management like approval process is there. Next slide. So now we have like covered about, first we covered about electronification. Okay, then we covered about what the like need of cyber security or safety. Then we covered about like different kind of like safety and what is the safety and what is the security differences. Then we covered about the regulations, what are the kind of regulations are there in the system. Then thereafter we covered about the different approval process, how we are taking the approval. So these are the four parts which we have already covered. I hope you understood this. Now next part is the next last part, which is related to the security implementation in the vehicle. So in security, basically in cyber security especially, there are different level of securities which are there in a vehicle. Okay, there is a base level security. For example, we have an enhanced security access. There is a, because every vehicle, every software is based upon some protocol. So in India or in global also, UDS protocol is a standard protocol through which every communication is there inside the vehicle. So there is a enhanced security access. Okay, that in this, basically this is a mainly to prevent the unauthorized module reprogramming or some advanced diagnostics. Sometimes what happens, like anybody can change the program, anybody can change some parameters like engine speed or engine RPM or even the kilometers. So to avoid this, there is a enhanced security access, which is we call it service 27. And similarly, there is a security diagnostics. So it is implemented to security and rationalize the update to the existing diagnostic services. So that is there. So, and similarly, there is a security flashing. So for example, I need to flash a software, some component maker, because there is every time there is a change in the software. So when there is a change in the software, like while tuning, while from based upon the customer feedback or based upon the service, so we need to flash the software inside the vehicle. So there is a secure flashing. So that is being taken care by digital signature verification. So that is one part. And there is a further next level of security, which is the security hardware. Like in software side, we have already some system in place to secure the software, but apart from software, in hardware itself we have some security mechanism, so which is called, especially in microcontroller level, there is a hardware security module, which is HSM, which is there. And similarly, there is some ports, like usually in the vehicle we have a test JTAG ports, which are to access the different points in the controller. So to, it can will not be accessed by anyone. So we have some protection inside the hardware to protect those JTAG connectors. Similarly, component packaging are also protected. Like there is no any open points are there, which because the components are protected so that nobody can touch or they can access those. Similarly, connectors are protected, and there is a hardware and soft requirements to secure the software architecture, especially the microcontroller. And there is some security coding guidelines also at hardware level also. And in next level of security, there is a message authentication. So what message authentication is, like basically, we, in a vehicle there are different controllers, so they are communicating with each other. So each, there is a CAN message we transferred from one controller to other controller or the in the bus. So those messages are itself are being like a, there is a mechanism to prevent those messages. Okay, so that is being prevented by message authentication. Similarly, there is a secure boot. So flashing we had already secured, but the bootloader is the one part which is flashing the software. So boot itself has to be secured. So for that we have established a root of trust of securing bootloader mechanism. So if we summarize these all security mechanism, these are different mechanism. So there is a level of like security. For example, because every security comes with the, or quality or safety or security comes with the cost. So there is, we have defined the different levels based upon the OEM car maker requirement. We have a level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 3 is the highest level of security which is there in the controller, and level B is the moderate level, and level 1 is the basic level security. So in level 1 we have a secure flashing. Level 1 we have some hardware packaging security, and similarly some secure architecture itself is secured. And but in level 3, almost every whatever the security mechanism are there, are being implemented in the controller. So these are the different kind of security levels or security mechanism which are there. So we will cover one by one. I think I will not take too much time. Can you move next slide? Okay. So first, as I said, it is the enhanced security access. So what exactly it is? So basically, we have a seed and key mechanism. Okay. So this mechanism, basically, it is a public algorithm. So it can be accessed by OEM. It can be accessed by first supplier, second supplier, and even the tool supplier. Tool supplier, basically, like there are a different type of software tools which are being used in the vehicle. So for them also, this seed and key is being supplied. And there is a data length of this seed and key is only 4 byte. Okay. So So in this case, basically we have a security access. So I think you might be knowing about the bootloader. What is the function of bootloader? Any idea? Okay. Anyway, so bootloader main function is to flash the software, main software inside the controller. Okay. So in the bootloader itself, we have put the security mechanism, which bootloader security access mode shall be used by every ECU to support the flashing, and this is the main requirement of any OEM. So they need to use the public key, seed and key. So if seed and key both are matching, then only anyone can flash the software inside the vehicle. Next slide. Okay. Then there is a one is the basic security. Then there is a advanced enhanced security level. Here, the change point is like seed and key has a data length of 8 byte. Okay. And private, there is a private algorithm. So which is being only used by OEM. OEM only used to provide this algorithm or library. So this library has to be used in the component level, and it can be accessed by the OEM only. So in this case, like there are two cases. Like in this case also, seed and key generations are there. So there is a random number generation, TRNG is there from ECU manufacturer, and there is a generate key generating also. So if you see, like there is a diagnostic tool, there is an algorithm. So input seed and key is being transmitted. So these keys are compared. If these keys are matching, then only flashing can be done in the controller. So what is the difference between A and B case, like a previous case and this case? As I said, previous case we were using only 4 byte key, but in this case we are using the 8 byte key. And algorithm, only two algorithms are using, like either shift or XOR algorithms are there. But in case of B, there is a different type of algorithms are permutation and combinations are being done. So if you see in case of one case A, there is a total 42 billions of the combination which can be made seed key pair. Similarly, in case of case B, where 8 byte are there, there 1800 trillion combinations can be there of seed key. And what is the hacking security? So in this case, hacking time is 1 minute. But if we see the case number B, where hacking time can be the even 5,000 years. So nobody can hack this security access in advanced case. Okay. Next slide. Okay. So next is related to the security implementation, which is the enhance, that is the C case, which is the hardware security mechanism is there, HSM. So in this case, last slide we saw like it's a 4 byte or 8 byte, but now the data length is 32 bytes. And again, it is not open to anyone, and even OEM also, there is a particular authorized person to whom these seed key library are access is there, and security level is high. So in this case, seed, like there is a random number generation by the HSM using the TRNG. There is a one functionality inside the HSM module. So they are generating different random number generation is there. So from TRNG, there is a random number is generated, and there is a seed is generated, and algorithm is used, and key is matched. So in case of key, like it is key side, like there is a seed and there is a key side. Key side also, like there is a, for example, tool, and seed is being put inside the with the algorithm to the tool, then key is generating, then this key and that seed key that are being matched. If both are matched, then only flashing can be done. So in this case, if you see the security level, so if I compare to the case B, like this, we were using 8 byte size key size. Here we are using 32 key size, and there is an advanced security algorithm which is AES 128, which is again using different kind of control logics through which these keys are being generated. And there's I mean seed key are there, I mean unlimited combinations of seed key which are being generated, and security attack is almost impossible in this case. Okay, so that is the level of security which is being implemented in the case of software. And next slide. Then now I'll just quickly go through the how flashing is being done. For example, security implementation. What is a secure flashing? So secure flashing basically, as I already told, like whenever there is a bootloader. So bootloader only has a function to flash the software inside the vehicle. So security flashing basically what it does is it is the add the electronic signature to the software which has to be programmed in the vehicle. For example, if you see the downside data so diagram, so in this there is a data which I need to flash inside the vehicle. So this data is being hashed, and there is a hash value is generated, and there is a private key. So sign are being generated and signatures are generated. So data is encrypted, for example, there is a signed data along with the signature, and other side, there is a signed data and there is a signature and data. So basically there is a decryption. So decryption is being done by the public key. So the public key and private key algorithm has to match, so it will generate a similar key. Then only this data is decrypted. Then the both public key and private key data is being compared. If it is matching, then only flashing can take place. So that is how the flashing can be is being taken care. So from left side, if you say, like the signatures are being generated by server, and inside the tool by the controller there is a matching of both signatures, public key and private key. Okay, next slide. So now comes to the advanced level of security level. So this is the, because this is the highest level of security, like a security hardware or security debug we call. So basically, apart from software, through hardware also we are controlling the security or the safety of the system. So as I told you, hardware level what we are doing is, because in hardware there is a text access ports. These are logged after mass production, so nobody can touch these ports. Okay, and in case of component packaging also, because in packaging there are different packaging method of component of ICE, like ICs. So these packets are packed in such a way so that their pins cannot be exposed to outside, so that nobody can access those pins. Even nobody can uh, like touch those points and hamper those points. So in case of similar way, in connectors itself, like PCB has like a requirement. So any connector or footprint should not be included in the PCB, so that are kept outside so that nobody can access. Similarly, microcontroller level, there is a HSM mechanism, the security function is there inside the microcontroller. And architecture level also, hardware system and software architecture level also, there are different kind of security mechanism which are provided. For example, memory protection unit is there, like all memory units are protected, all memories are encrypted, and even there is a nobody can induct the fault in that. So that kind of protection is being put at the hardware level. And similarly in software level also, there are software guidelines which are put in the place so that nobody can access. So in guidelines there are MISRA C, which is every organization has a compliance guidelines. So everyone coding has to be done according to the MISRA. So this is the like a high level of security which are there at hardware level as well as the software level. So next slide. So I'll cover about because hardware security module is the advanced security model. So in this, basically, this is at the microcontroller level. Usually, for example, in our case, if we are using Infineon microcontroller, so it has the HSM domain, so which has a different kind of components or module inside it. Like there is a secure internal RAM is secured. There is a NVM where keys are being stored or some data is being stored. That is also private. It cannot be accessed outside. Similarly, there is a encryptions are there. So symmetry or asymmetry hardware encryptions are there inside the this microcontroller HSM module. And as I said to you, there is a TRNG, true number generating numbers, which is generating the seed or key pair, which cannot be repeated. In, for example, once it is generated, so no, never in the life it can be repeated same number. So that is the functionality of hardware HSM. So at least this has to be secured, and if HSM level is security, then nobody can access the controller. Next slide. Okay, now comes to the, there is another level of security. This is the, as I told you, there are different controllers inside the vehicle. So all controllers are communicating with each other through some CAN bus or some other protocols also, like sometimes Ethernet. Few are connected through LAN, or sorry, few are connected to LIN, and there are different other UART also communication protocols. So in CAN, case of CAN, so mostly in automotive all are in CAN. So there is when any controller is sending any message or any variable information, then apart from the like simple message, so there is a message authentication also, which is MAC is being done. So in through this message authentication, so nobody can access this message. For example, if I am trying to access the canvas and I'm trying to decode the message, so it cannot be decoded because there is a message authentication mechanism is available in the vehicle. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so now comes to the secure boot. So this is the now most advanced technology. Like we have a we have secured the application software or main data. We have secured at the hardware level also. Okay, what if the boot which is flashing the data inside is itself is being corrupted? So it is very important to secure that boot module also. So for that there is a secure boot mechanism inside the vehicle. So that at least it ensures that authenticated and trusted software boot is executed during the system startup, or to prevent the unauthorized code execution. So that is the one part. So basically this is the roof of trust from the when we are, because bootloader is the one part when we are just keeping the ignition on. So every ECU gets a wake up. So during wake up, first part is the bootloader, which takes the control. So boot itself has to be secured. So that is why like we need to secure this boot. So in the vehicle we are securing this boot with different mechanisms, and there is a HSM inside encrypted in the boot itself, so that it cannot be hampered or it cannot be unauthorized person cannot access this. Okay, next level. Next slide. Okay, so next slide is last slide, which is the basically this is a nowadays what is there. For example, there is a OTA. I think people must have heard about OTA. It is the over the air flashing. For example, what happens usually in big like initially whenever like from field there are the vehicles, like when vehicles which are there in feed, we are getting different like feedbacks, then softwares are being changed. So now what happened, like when we are changing the softwares, so that time it has to like developer or some component maker has to go to at the car or service end to flash those software. But now we have flashing over the air photon technology, where we can put on the cloud and automatically it can flash the software or it can update the software, just like our like for example mobiles auto updates are there. Similar way in vehicles also auto updates are being done, which is through the FOTA. So FOTA is very important, like it has to be secured, like flashing has to be secured, and even the cloud has to be secured through which we are accessing the data. So inside the controller we have a dual memory concept. So what happen if you see the stage A, like there is a, if you see there is a one microcontroller map where is a we have a memory bank, for example bank A and bank B. So inside the memory we have boot, we have a HSM, we have a application. So these are the main three key software which are there inside the controller. So we have kept the two memories inside it, so that if this is a redundancy, so if some one software fails, at least second software backup it should be activated. So in case of, for example, FOTA, if you see downside diagram, like stage A, bank A is active and bank B is inactive. So basically only one bank has to activate it one time. So HSM, if you see HSM is there, boot A is there, application A is there, and in similar way there is a copy, same copy in the reserve bank, like HSM, boot A and boot B. Now I in stage two I want to flash the application C inside the uh, controller. So how we do? So what we do is we do the programming like through bootloader. So what it will do, active bank it will not touch, because when my vehicle is running, so if somebody start flashing then it is dangerous. So active bank it will keep on functioning normally, but in inactive bank it will flash the software, like application B to application C it will flash. Okay. So in stage 3, so now programming has already happened in stage 2, and in stage 3 there is a bank swap. So basically now I want to use a latest app which is application software of C. So active bank will become inactive and bank V will become active. So in bank V we have a latest application, and when there is a next ignition cycle, then automatically inactive bank also get the updated through the app C. So ultimately next ignition cycle will have a app C, and in both bank and boot and HSM will be matching. So this is how dual memory concept is there, which is being implemented in different controllers. So I hope you are able to understand some brief about the security mechanism. So these are the kind of mechanism which are being implemented in the inside the controllers. So with this, I think any query or something is there, so you can let me know.
Any query from the participants, please?
Hi, sir.
I think yes,
It
sir.
is Javed. I'm audible.
Yeah,
Yes,
Javed.
sir, you are.
So it is a very new topic for us. I have one question. What cyber security also related to the internet security?
Internet security in the sense, organization level internet security you are
I'm
asking?
thinking that the cyber mean the internet. That all the security level related to the internet are come under cyber security. But you have give the many examples where we don't need internet. You talk about the software. You talk about the embedded system. So can you
Mhm.
explain the cyber security? How we can explain that?
Okay. Uh, yes, can you move to one slide back? We are basically cyber security, as I told you. Just wait a moment. I'll yes 13. I think 14 slide number you can move. Okay. Yeah, yeah, 13 and 14. Next slide. So basically, as I told you, like a cyber security is not only at the vehicle level, so it has to be implemented at the system level also and the network level also. Okay, so what I have covered in what are the mechanisms, cybersecurity mechanism which we have covered, which are related to the inside the controller, how we are securing the controller. But apart from that, system level and even the network level, for example internet level also, because when I'm talking about the photo flashing over the air, so it is happening through the cloud. Okay, so I am storing the data in cloud. From cloud, like it is taking to the different controllers, so I have to secure the data also, I have to secure the cloud also, and I have to secure the communication also, telemetrics communication. So there are different level of security, cyber security, which has to be implemented not at the vehicle level or the component level, but at the system level and the infrastructure level also. You hope you understand my point.
Okay, I got it. One more question.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
how from where we get the approval? You say that at a system level we need a approval. At a system level we need approval. Who gives the
Mhm.
approval for that?
Basically, there is a C. For example, if I'm saying about regulation, okay, I'm like this, because this system level, software level, every level, if you go, so that covers, there is a different regulations are there. So like ISO 2622 is, for example, if I'm saying I'm compliance to the ISO 262, that means I'm complying, then that ISO 262 level regulation, I mean approval, I have to take from the authority. There is a TUB, like one authority, some agency is there, and there is a this ECR R1455. There is an agency, third party agency, through which the approval has to be taken. For example, at component level also it has to be taken the approval. Then at the vehicle level also it has to taken. For example, there is in India, if I talk about, if I because cybersecurity will be introduced in 2028. So in that case, like 2028 case, then there is a ARI, or there are different agencies are there which will be capable of taking giving the certification approval. Okay, you understand?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Any other query from the participants?
I hope
Uh,
it is not so boring.
no, of course not, sir. It's a very new topic to many of us
It is a
because,
very new topic for us,
yes,
so that's why
yes.
we don't have too many questions.
Oh,
But there
great.
will be many because if one will be diving in this particular domain, yes, this was a very good session, sir, for the
Mm.
knowledge point of view and the deep insights that you have provided. So thank you very much, sir, for your expertise. And thank you, Yash, for the last minute that you have helped us in successfully conducting the session. So
Yeah.
I would request, sir, to please switch on your webcams so that we can have a group photograph. And I would request, sir, to please stop sharing your screen also. I'll just take the pictures. So please wait. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you again to Dr. Priti and all organization committee. So giving the opportunity to present my material. It was really interesting to interact with you all.
Thank you very much, sir. So it is for the information of all participants that our next expert, Mr. Arman Ansari, has already joined with us. So we will be starting in a session. Arman sir, are you able to listen to
Yes,
us?
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you very much, sir. Puran sir, I would request to please make me the host again. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And I'll make you the co-host also. So Aman sir, I've made you the co-host now.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, may we start the session, sir?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so formally introducing the sir with all the participants. It gives me the great pleasure to welcome you all to today's second technical session on the topic that lies at the heart of the modern electric mobility, that is modeling of battery and thermal modeling of vehicle components. So, as we move towards the future driven by sustainable and intelligent transportation, so this particular domain is very much important to us. And to guide us through this particular domain of battery and the thermal modeling of the vehicles, please join me in welcoming Mr. Arman Ansari, today's esteemed speaker for this second technical session. Sir is currently working as an application engineer at Design Tech Systems Private Limited and brings with him over 6 years of hands-on experience in the electrical and electric vehicle domain. Leveraging his deep technical expertise, he has been passionately involved in delivering the corporate trainings, conducting research, and sharing his knowledge with engineers, students, and scholars across the country. His ability to simplify the complex engineering concepts and present them with clarity has made him a respected figure in the training and EV communities also. Sir has contributed to the powertrain development of electric two-wheelers, adding practical industry experience to his strong theoretical foundations. So in today's session, he will take us through the modeling of batteries, exploring how battery behavior is predicted, analyzed, and optimized. He'll also delve into the thermal modeling of the vehicle components, that is very much essential aspect of ensuring performance, reliability, and safety in electric vehicles. We are truly honored to have you with here us today, sir. So the session is over to you. The virtual stage is yours now.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this warm welcome. And I would like to thank you all for joining the session. Okay, so let me share the screen first. I hope this presentation is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, thank you. So as ma'am introduced me, let's move to the other thing. So for how we can use MATLAB and Simulink for electric vehicle development. So here in MATLAB, you can make any kind of plants and controller. So here you can make the battery, and for that we need BMS, battery management system. Our focus today will be on the battery and BMS and then thermal management. Apart from that, in the MATLAB and Simulink you can do the fuel cell modeling, and for that you can model the fuel cell control unit as well. And you can also model a DC to DC converter, chargers, or electronic converters also for this thing. Apart from that, you can model the different types of motor, whether it's a PMSM or BLDC motor, or even some advanced motors also you can model here in the Simulink environment. And for them, you can model the inverter as well. Okay, so you can do these all things through the physical modeling. Also, if you would like to move towards the making the electric vehicle more smart, then also you can use the Simulink for that purpose. So you can integrate the AI models with your electric vehicle as well. So those things can be done. But our today's agenda is focused on the battery and how batteries behavior is going to change if temperature is going to change, and how we are going to cool down the whole vehicle itself. Okay, so let's move. If we talk about the electric vehicle major components, so basically, if we let me make one flow chart for you so that it will be easy to understand how the current and how the power is going to supply and how these components are going to uh, you know contribute to the heat. So first of all, as we know that we get the electricity from the grid, generally it will be AC, and it is going to be developed from the renewable or non-renewable resources. So then we have AC, and as we know that we have a battery which is going to store the DC supply because we cannot store AC. So we need one converter, which is known as your AC to DC converter, also known as rectifier, or with some auxiliary components, it will become your charger. So it is going to convert your AC It may be single phase or three phase, depending upon which kind of charger we have. And there are different classification of the chargers, like we have onboard charger, which is going to be on the vehicle itself. Okay, there is onboard charger, and there are also some other classification like level 1, level 2, level 3 is there, single phase, three phase. There are so many other classification of the chargers also. So it's going to contribute. If we are going to use level 1 and level 2 charger, it is going to connect with the onboard charger itself. Level 3 is the only one which is directly going to convert your AC into DC, and then it will directly feed the battery with the help of BMS. But level 1 and level 2 charger is going to connect with the onboard charger. Generally, an onboard charger will be around 7 kilowatt. So it's going to contribute to the heat while charging the battery as well. So this charger is going to convert AC into DC, then the battery will get operate. So battery along with BMS will be there. BMS will allow to charge the battery and discharge the battery, and it will do some other task also. Many more tasks are there. Okay, so thereafter we need to operate the electric motor. So electric motor always going to generate the heat. So this heat also have to managed by the electric vehicle thermal management. So we need to convert this AC, because in the most of the in electric vehicle, most of the uh, motors are going to be used AC supply only. So here we need one inverter along with some microcontroller. It will be there, so it will become your motor controller, which is going to convert your AC DC into AC, and then electric motor will be operated. Now this is going to have the flow of current, so it will also contribute to heat generations, the wires and other things. So we have to manage all these things, and this is the flow of how the supply is going to start from the battery charger to the battery to the inverter to the electric motor. So all these components are going to contribute to the heat generation. Okay, and eventually battery is going to hampered if we are not going to manage it. So we will understand those things, but before that we have to understand the battery thoroughly, so that we can understand that how battery is going to get impacted through the thermal heat. Okay, so this is the whole electric vehicle major components. So you can see we have battery charger. This is the onboard charger, and this level 1 and level 2 is going to connect with the onboard chargers, and level 3 is directly going to charge the battery pack. Okay, generally level 3 is known as your um, known as DC chargers, and it is termed as a fast charger. Okay, but this is not the whole truth. It may have the high power rating, but it is not always true that it is going to charge the battery at higher C rate. Okay, so let's move ahead. So first of all, we have to understand the working of the lithium-ion batteries. So if we talk about the different components of a lithium-ion battery, so major components are going to be your cathode, anode, electrolyte, and separator. Separator is the most important one in the lithium-ion, because it separates the cathode and anode. If anything going to happen with this separator, then it is going to contribute to the fast moving of the ions and electrons through the electrolytes, which will make the cathode and anode short circuited, and hence it will increase the current, and then it will increase the copper losses, you can say heat losses, and then it will rise the temperature of the battery, and hence it will leads to thermal runaway. We will see. Okay, so this is one video demonstration. So here, if we are going to, we have the positive current collector, the cathode, the electrolyte in blue color is there, which is going to help to move the ions from the cathode to anode through the electrolyte. Okay, and then we have anode material, which is going to absorb those electrons during charging. So if we are going to charge the battery, then lithium ion will flow from the cathode to anode through the electrolyte, and electrons will move from the external wire. Okay, and the reverse will happen during the discharging. Okay, lithium ion will flows from the anode to cathode, and electrons will flow through the load. Okay, so this is the working. If anything is going to happen with this separator, it is going to damage the battery itself. There are different types of lithium ion batteries. Okay, now if you observe, if we have any cobalt related batteries, like we have lithium nickel cobalt aluminum NCA, we have NMC, lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt, and these two are very prone to heat. So safety is the concern here because they are using cobalt. But if you look, if we are not using cobalt like LFP and LTO, so it is going to have very optimum safety level. So generally LFP and LTO is the costliest one. Okay, so it's not a perfect choice because if we do not want to increase the cost of the vehicle, we do not want the LTO. LTO is used mostly by the Tesla and other company which is making the costliest vehicle. But most common is LFP. And also NC is being used, but with proper precautions. Like we have to properly manage this battery. Okay, so safety is the most concern here. And as we are using cobalt, their specific energy is going to be very high. The battery which is using is cobalt is having high specific energy. You can see here. LMO has low specific energy. LTO is also the lowest specific energy, and LFP is also having very lowest LFP. Sorry, in a specific energy. So it is going to have low specific energy. So if we have very high specific energy, we need to properly manage that. So we need a BMS for that. Okay. So we have different types of lithium ion batteries, and their application, their choice depends upon these parameters: specific energy, specific power, safety, performance, lifespan, and cost as well. Okay, so these parameters are the selection parameters of the battery. Let's move to the next slide. So why battery modeling is important? So first of all, battery is a very dynamic system. We have to predict the battery performance in a system and optimize cell behavior. Okay, and we need to cell behavior is going to be impacted with the help of voltage, SOC, temperature, and how healthy that battery is. So these things is going to impact the battery. And if we want to design the battery pack, so for that also we need to model this battery. We have to design the BMS and many more things we would like to do. So we need to model the battery. So in simulation, basically we are going to make those batteries so that we don't have to damage the real life batteries. Also in some scenarios, like if I have a one battery, I would like to treat it in the cold region and in the hot region also, hot weather also. So we have to taste the same battery, but it is not possible in real life. So we can create those scenarios in the simulation environment so that if anything we are going to do, like we can test those batteries in different condition, the same battery, and how their behavior is going to have in that environment. So basically, there are three types of modeling methods for batteries being used. And the most common one, or the most popular one, is the equivalent circuit model. Okay, so in this equivalent circuit model, we have different other model as well. So the equivalent circuit model uses circuit components such as resistor, capacitor, and constant voltage source says to form a circuit network to simulate the dynamic characteristics of the battery. Okay, so here we have different models like Arendt model, Thevenin model, PNGV model, and multi-order model. Now, the Thevenin model is the most common one, but if you look into other, except the Arendt model, which is very basic model, Thevenin or PNGV or multi-order, these almost are going to be common. Okay, even if we have multi-order, the complexity of this model is going to increase. So generally, industry prefer the Thevenin equivalent model, or in some cases, high order Thevenin model also. Okay, so if you see that these equivalent circuit for battery cells, so it has the most common, or everything is common. So here you will find the open circuit voltage, which is going to depend upon some how SOC, temperature also. Okay, and then internal resistance will be over there. Internal resistance or terminal resistance will always be presented. If we have not connected any load from the battery, these two always present. So terminal resistance will cause the battery to discharge, self-discharge after some time. Okay. Thereafter, we have this transient behavior or dynamic behavior also of this. And this is known as polarization resistance or polarization capacitance, which is going to present if we connected the load, and then current is going to extract from the battery, then battery try to mitigate those and fight for against that current which is going to be drawn. So that is known as transient dynamics here, and that depends all these resistance which is going to contribute to the heat, whether it's a terminal resistance or polarization resistance R1 or Rn, it is going to contribute to the temperature. So if thereafter, in some cells, there are some parasitic losses, but in lithium ion batteries, that is not present, okay, or very minimal. So we are not going to take it into the account. So if you see all these register is resistance, polarization or terminal resistance is somehow the function of SOC, temperature, current and voltage. But there are some certain conditions also that how this SOC is going to impact the voltage and current is going to impact the temperature. So for that we have taken uh, you know a curve here. So you can see this is open circuit voltage and the state of charge. So at different temperature, 5 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, if you observe, then the open circuit voltage is going to be slightly higher at higher temperature. Okay, and by just looking at the state of charge, you cannot teach because it's a very non-linear relation. Okay, so you cannot tell at the at the definite state of charge, you cannot tell how much voltage will be there. Okay, or you can say in this another way that by looking at the voltage, terminal voltage, you cannot tell how much percentage the battery is charged. We need proper SOC estimation. SOC also going to depend upon this open circuit voltage, the temperature, and many more things. Okay, so for that also we need to do the modeling. And thereafter, if you see, this is the internal resistance and the state of charge at different temperature. Okay, so if temperature is very low, 5 degrees Celsius, so it will have 0.0115 and 0.08. So at low temperature, it will have high resistance, and electrons or lithium ions is not going to move very freely. Okay, and at higher temperature, the resistance is going to be very low, and at that condition, electrons are going to move fast. Now, here is the catch. So, battery is the desired operating range of any kind of battery is 15 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, because in that operating range only we will get the optimal performance from the battery. If we are going to operate the battery in low temperature, then what will happen that electrolyte is not going to allow the lithium ion to move very freely. So capacity will get down. And if we are going to operate the electric battery in higher temperature, then also what will happen that resistance is low, then electrons will move very faster. So what will happen if anode is not going to accept that much amount of electrons, or cathode is not going to accept those much faster rate of the electrons, it will leads to thermal runaway. Okay, so both condition is not good for the battery. If we are going to operate the battery at low temperature, it will also leads to there is a term lithium plating. So that will also cause the issue, and in the long run, it is going to degrade the capacity of the battery, and it may also leads to thermal runaway. Okay, so those both is not suitable for the battery. So that's why we have to manage the battery in 15 to 35 degrees Celsius. That is, desired operating for any kind of the battery. Okay. So here comes the role of SOC estimation. Why we need to accurately estimate the SOC? Because if we have the accurate SOC, we can set the limit of the BMS. So suppose generally what we do, if we have any battery, we set the lower limit 15%. You have observed in your mobile also that at 15%, it's asked, or 20%, it started asking to put the battery into the charging mode. Okay, and at the higher level, we set the limit of 95%. If you observe that if you are plugging your battery mobile battery, and after 95 suddenly it will show you 100% in order to save the battery. So we set this limit 15% lower limit and 95% upper limit, and it may vary depending upon the manufacturer. So that what will happen if SOC is going to be more than 95%, then it will give the signal to the BMS, and BMS will isolate the charger. Okay, isolate the charger. If it is 15%, then BMS will isolate the load in that condition. So to know the percentage of battery charge, we need SOC properly, and it will give you information about driving range. It depends. It's relative to the battery, and there will be proper communication between the BMS and battery. So there will be an algorithm for calculating the driving range depending upon how much power is going to be consumed. Okay, we will see if we have turned on the AC, then how much power is required to operate the compressor. Okay, so we will see through the graph. So it is going to protect from overcharging. So BMS stop the charging current by comparing estimated SOC and SOC upper limit provided in the BMS control algorithm, and protect from over discharging. BMS stop the discharging current by comparing estimated SOC and SOC lower limit provided in the BMS control algorithm, and BMS isolate the load from the battery. Basically, there will be two types of uh, you know uh, field effect transistor in the BMS. One is charging field effect transistor, another one is discharging field effect transistor, or maybe one also, depending upon which configuration we are using in the BMS. So if we are using a separate thing, then this will get turned on and off depending upon this signal. Helps in cell balancing. Now, what is cell balancing? Cell balancing is like equalizing the charges among the different cell. But why it is required? Because if there will be unequal uh, distribution of the charges across the cell, then the weakest cell will decide the total or capacity of the battery. Okay, so if one is able to only charge and discharge 60%, another one is able to discharge 70% and charge 70%. So 60% is going to decide the overall the battery capacity. Okay, so that's why we have to do the cell balancing, and there are two types of cell balancing: active and passive cell balancing. In active cell balancing, we are going to use transistor and capacitor, which will store the energy, and then it will transfer to the another cell without any losses, and it's not going to convert as a heat. But in case of passive balancing, we are going to use the resistor, which is going to dissipate the heat in the energy in the form of heat into the environment, which is going to contribute to the heat generation. So that's why we have to properly model the battery. And as we know that 40% of the cost goes to the battery only, 40 to 50% in electric vehicle. So it's a very important to properly manage that battery. So overall accuracy of SOC estimation directly affects the vehicle energy management, control strategy, and the performance of the electric vehicle, which in turn affects the reliability and cost of the vehicle. Moving ahead, there are different types of estimators. We don't need to worry about the what is the equations behind those estimations. Like Coulomb counting is there, so in final SOC is going to be initial SOC minus integration of the current which is coming and divided by the total capacity of the battery. Okay, so those information we don't need to require once we have these blocks in the Simulink environment. So basically, this comes in the Simiscape battery toolbox. So here we have the basic SOC Coulomb counting method, where we have current and initial SOC only as input, and then we are getting the final SOC. So accuracy will be less in this Coulomb counting SOC estimation. And then we have for the variable capacity, and then we have SOC estimation for the using the Kalman filter as well. So here we will have the pack current, cell voltage, cell temperature, initial SOC is there. Also, we have adaptive Kalman filter. So the level of these filter or estimator is going to increase. The accuracy is going to also increase. Now industries are using either the Coulomb counting if we are using for two-wheeler or three-wheeler, or the Kalman filter mostly if we are using the it for the high-speed three or two-wheeler or even four-wheeler also we are using the Kalman filter. So in the MATLAB Academy, there is a course uh, named as battery pack modeling, and there you can go and you can learn these things in that course as well. Now moving ahead, battery pack to the battery pack modeling. Just a minute. Okay. So first of all, we have already understood the cell. Now there are different types of cells, like we have which is called as form factor. So we have pouch cell, prismatic cells, and the cylindrical cells, most common one. So these cylindrical, all shapes can be going to be connected into parallel. Then we will get the parallel assembly. And then if we are going to connect these parallel assembly in series, then it will become your module. And if we are going to connect multiple modules in one, then it will become your module assembly. And hence it will become, if we have different other module assembly, then it will become battery pack. Okay. And here you can see these all things you can do in either through the MATLAB coding, or there is, a battery builder app there. There you can easily integrate the different here you can see these images are made in the battery builder app, so you don't need to worry about the making from very basic things. So using Simulink, Simiscape, and battery builder app, you can make the battery pack modeling here. And then we have the battery pack modeling. Here you can define the individual cell, you can define the parallel assembly. Here it's being shown through the coding. Okay, but without coding also you can do that. Then you can define the module. Here we have taken 4 cells in series and parallel. Okay, so in this way you can do that. Thereafter, we have connected these module into the series. Then it's becoming the module, and then it's becoming the battery pack. So the cells from the cells to module to the battery pack, it is going to be designed. And here you can see you can generate that things, and thereafter you can add the battery pack and electrical load across it. Okay, and then you can add the ambient environment into the simulation area, because we cannot test in different environment the real battery, so we can do all these things in the simulation. Thereafter you can add the battery pack cooling things, liquid cooling or natural cooling, and there are different types of SOC estimation algorithms that you can use. So here adaptive Kalman filter has been used in this demonstration. Okay, then state of health estimation, that is also important because it's going to impact the overall capacity of the battery. So you can add these SOH estimator also into the battery pack modeling. You can add the temperature control also in this model. So you can do everything into one environment through the physical modeling using the Simiscape toolboxes. Here we are using the cell balancing algorithms. These all are important in order to properly simulate the behavior of the battery under different conditions. Then you can use the charge or discharge algorithm. So we have different charge and discharge algorithm like CCCV and CPCV is there, and pulse charging is also coming, which is being used. I will show you one example through the CCCV as well in the upcoming. So here, after that, making that, you can estimate the SOC. This was the measured SOC. This was the estimated SOC. How the cell temperature was going to increase. How the terminal resistance is increasing, that you can model and understand the behavior, and whether it is going to be useful for your model, for your vehicle or not, that you can decide here. Industries are using these things for rapid prototyping. Okay, so these things can be created. So from the cell to system, you can create all these into the Simiscape battery environment. Okay, so thereafter, you can also define the battery system and automatically generate dynamic models. Okay, so here, this is your battery builder app where you can see, if you observe here, So this is battery builder app. You can either import any model or example, or you can define your cell here. If you see, so cell geometry can be decided here by whether you want as a cylindrical or prismatic or pouch. So that it can be decided over here. And then radius, height, everything matters here. Okay, because there are three types of heat transfer is there: radiation, conduction, and convection. Okay, so these height and weight and radius, all things matters in that. So you can define each and everything, and thereafter you can define the cell parameter and many more things. So that from the cell to module assembly, and then you can design the battery pack, everything here with very interactive, with low coding or no coding in the MATLAB's Simscape toolbox. And under the Simscape battery we have this battery builder app. So if you would like to know how to design the battery pack, so there is one battery pack modeling course on the MATLAB Academy. You can go, and this is free of cost. I think you can go and you can learn this on RAM courses through the MATLAB Academy. Okay, I'll provide this sheet to all of you, so you can go through these uh, slides and this link as well. Then BMS. BMS is like a brain of the battery. If you see, I have a question for you all. Kindly note it down that why we need BMS with lithium-ion battery, not with other kind of battery like with lead acid. Okay, so this is my question. Kindly explore about it, and you can send your answer on my email ID or through the LinkedIn also. I can connect with you all. Okay, so it's not a big deal. I will ask some of the other questions also in between. Okay, I know I'm going a little fast because this content was too much big. I'm trying to cover as much as I can. Okay, so here battery management systems is there. So BMS is going to collect the data from the voltage sensor, temperature sensor, and the current sensor. Okay, like we have set the limit of the battery. So different batteries like LFP is going to operate some in the certain temperature range, and LTO is going to operate in certain range. So according to different types of battery, we have set the limit, upper limit and lower limit of the battery. Then lower SOC and upper SOC we have selected. Okay, that is basically known as depth of discharge. Kindly explore about depth of discharge of the battery. Okay, so we have set those limits. Thereafter, we have set the limit of the low voltage at the time of discharging and high voltage at the time of charging. So we cannot go beyond both of the limits. So upper limit, lower limit, and the temperature and voltage has been decided, and how much maximum current can be drawn. Those things has been also decided according to different types of lithium-ion chemistries that has been filled in the BMS. So now it is going to collect those data from the temperature, voltage, and current sensor, and it is going to compare with the control algorithms which we have deployed into the BMS. Okay, and thereafter, what it is going to do, if it is going beyond the limit, it is going to if at the time of charging, if voltage level is going high, it will isolate the charger. If it is going low at the time of loading station, it will isolate the load. So in that these things is going to done by the BMS. So BMS is going to estimate the state of the charge. It is going to predict the state of the health, and it's going to do the proper cell balancing. So separate cell balancing circuit will be there, but that will be only triggered once the BMS will give the signal. Okay, and also it is going to do the power optimization through the battery thermal management system. It is separate electronic control units like BMS, but the signal will go through the BMS only. So BMS is like a brain, and those BMS is going to control other ECUs also. So it will also communicate with other ECUs or other BMS also. So in a battery, it may have a multiple BMS also. One central BMS may have there. Okay, so it is going to control the battery thermal management system as well. So it is interlinked. It is the backbone of the battery, and it is very it needs to be versatile. we need proper control algorithm. So in MATLAB, you can model these things, and through the apps, you can directly generate the code for the algorithms, and you can even deploy those into the hardware directly as well through the MATLAB and Simulink. Now, there is battery CCCV charging method. So if you observe, this is the model. Okay. So inside that, I have filled some equation. I will share all these resources. I hope Manoj sir has already shared all the links to all of you. There it will be, you will get all these examples. Okay. Now, this battery is 27 Ah battery. Okay. And this there is voltage sensor, and this is control current source. And we have set limit in the relay that around 91% is the upper SOC limit, and lower SOC is going to be around 30% SOC. Okay. So if relay is going beyond 91%, then it will go into the discharging mode. Okay, after charging 91% approximately, it will go into discharging, and once it will reach 30%, then it will once again go to the charging mode. Okay, now people generally say that fast charger, fast charger, fast charger. So I would like to give a task, another task. This is the second task for you all, that you have to find what is the actual definition of fast charger. Okay, you can explore about it, and if not, you can ask me over the LinkedIn or through the email ID. Okay. Now, if here we have set some certain, uh, temperature environment also, we are going to give the, a constant ambient temperatures, environmental temperature, that is 292 Kelvin has been given. And then how we will see how this battery is going to behave. So generally 15 ampere is going to be used for the charging, and then -1. I have taken some more simulation results also. So here we have taken the simulation result of the current, voltage, temperature, and then SOC. Just give me a moment. This is a battery CCCV block, which is CCCV means constant current and constant voltage. Now, we have set limit that if battery is going to achieve 4.2 volt, so till 4.2 volt it will be in the constant current phase, which will be achieved very faster as compared to constant voltage. Once the voltage is achieving 4.2, then it will enter into the constant voltage mode, and current start getting dropped. Okay, once the current is going to be almost 10% of the initial charge, depending upon what the manufacturer have decided, then it is going to be fully charged. Okay, so it will take time. So I will show you the plot that how it's going to behave at different ampere. So currently we have given 15 ampere, 27 ampere I have given because this battery is 27 Ah, and then 35 ampere also I have given. So here we have this plot. So if you observe in this plot, so here we are giving 15 ampere. So as you can see that sudden within few seconds. So this is for 10 hours. 10 hours result has been shown in this plot. So within few hours, it has achieved that maximum 4.1 here. We have set the 4.1 as a maximum voltage. So it's here it is achieving the 4.1, and once it is achieving the 4.1, then the constant voltage has been applied. So this is the phase known as constant current, and this phase is known as constant voltage. And here you can see the voltage is constant over the period of time. Okay, till the charging is happening. And now this current is going to discharge, means decrease till 10% of the initial current, almost 1.5 ampere. Okay, or even 0 also, depending on what we have set in that model. And as you can see here is if we are applying the 15 ampere, the current is almost around 292, means temperature is during the charging at the higher C rate is almost around 296 to 298 Kelvin. Okay, and once this current is also decreasing, the temperature is also decreasing, and it's being constant equal to the ambient temperature like 292. Okay, so till here it is being charged, and once this SOC is reaching the 91%. So from here, it's going to be 30 to 91%. Once this is entering into the 91%, then the algorithm is going to switch and it's going to enter into discharging phase. And then we are applying the minus 15 ampere current constantly. And also you can observe the temperature is going to rise in that condition. So while operating, charging the battery or discharging the battery, in both condition, temperature is going to rise. Okay, so we have to take care of that. Now, here comes the catch. If we are going to charge at 15 ampere, then around 298 Kelvin it is increasing. And if we are going to charge the battery at 27 ampere, then this constant current charging time has been decreased because we are able to achieve that 4.1 maximum voltage very faster. Okay, so constant current has been decreased and now constant voltage phase has been increased. Okay, so in this reason, you can see the temperature has rise almost 307 Kelvin, which is almost 11 Kelvin higher than the previous one. So that's why fast charging is not always suitable for the battery. For short time it is. And to minimize the effect on the battery because of higher current rating or fast charging, we have this CCCV method. Okay, so in that CV method, once again, the temperature is decreasing, and you can see that SOC is also going to increase and take more time into getting full charge. That is 91% set limit we have done here. Okay. Likewise, if we are going to give minus 30 degrees Celsius, 30 ampere, then also temperature is going to rise very high. So at higher amperes, it is going to affect the battery adversely because of temperature rise. Here we have done through the 35 ampere. Okay, so 35 ampere is there. So once again, the CC, constant current or fast charging time has been decreased, and now we need more time in order to charge the battery. You must have observed in your mobile phone also, which is currently supporting the fast charger. So there you will see that it is taking more time, less time in charging the battery from 20 to 70%. But from the 70 to 95%, it is going to take almost the similar time, okay, which we have achieved in 50% SOC because of safety reasons. Okay, because we want the temperature to be optimal in that battery. Okay, and this higher temperature is going to affect the battery adversely. So these are the some certain situations where battery get heated up mostly, and that's why it is always advised to use the slow charger for the battery. Now I have the same question is there which I have given the second task. In that also, what do you understand by fast charger and slow charger, and how you can define it? Okay, the same question is there in another way. Okay, now concept of thermal runaway. So as we know that temperature is rising, okay, because of charging, but not only because of charging, this thermal runaway can happen. Okay, so we have to properly model the battery into different conditions. Okay, what if some load accident is happening? So how this battery is going to behave if a certain force is going to applied? Okay, so there is, you know there is this is the thermal runaway whole image. So if anything happen because of mechanical abuse, electrical abuse, or thermal abuse, these battery can go under the thermal runaway. So what will happen in this mechanical abuse? So if penetration or crush is going to happen on the battery, so it will deform the separator. Okay, so as I have told you, separator is the main organ, you can say, of the battery. If anything is going to happen to the separator, it will create an internal short circuit. So here you can see if mechanical abuse is happening, it will create internal short circuit here. Okay, and then it will leads to electrical abuse. Internal short circuit means cathode and anode will behave like a short circuit, and the electrons will move very faster from the cathode to anode, and vice versa through the electrolyte, not from the external circuit. So it will be very faster, and anode and cathode both will not be able to handle that much amount of faster current. So because of that, it will create the heat, because current rating is going to be higher in short circuit condition. So it will create higher heat, I square R, and hence it is going to have the thermal abuse. Battery will go into the thermal abuse, and then it will lead to thermal runaway. Thermal runaway can happen in the form of smoke, sometimes in the fire, and sometimes it will lead to explosions also. Just give me a moment. Thereafter, if anything going to happen to the battery because of internal short circuit, overcharge, or over discharge. As I've told you, over discharge if we have connected the load, and overcharge if we have connected the chargers. Okay, so we have set those limit: upper voltage, lower voltage, upper SOC, lower SOC in the BMS. If it is not going to control, then this will happen. Okay, so this will leads to electrical abuse. Okay, which is going to create the dendrite growth. Okay, and it will purge the separator. If it is going to purge the separator, once again, the internal short circuit will happen, and hence the more current will flow, and thereafter this heat will get generated, and there will be thermal abuse, and then this thermal runaway will happen. Okay, now because of aging also, this electrical abuse and thermal abuse both can happen. Okay, so that's why the life of the batteries are generally 5 to 6 years, lithium-ion battery. If battery is getting aged, and if there will be overheat, we are not doing the proper cooling, then also it will lead to thermal abuse, and at higher extreme temperature, separator will collapse or evaporate. Okay, which will create the internal short circuit, and hence it will lead to thermal runaway. So this is the issue because of which we are seeing the news that batteries are catching fires. Okay, now this is uh, about one cell. Thermal runaway is about one cell. If anything is happening to any cell because of mechanical abuse, electrical or thermal abuse, the battery, one single battery will lead to thermal runaway. And if there is no proper spacing between the cells, there is no proper cooling is there. Okay, so it will lead to thermal propagation, and one battery will cause the other batteries to propagate, means heat to propagate among each other. So this will lead to thermal propagation. Now, cylindrical kind of cell are very popular because they have proper spacing between each of the cell. So it will have that benefit of uh, proper cooling, natural cooling, proper space is there. So they will have higher area. So it will help them. Okay. So, spacing in the battery and module is also important parameters while designing the battery pack. Okay, so what will happen if we have a battery with the fault? Here, there is one model which in which the 10th cell is at the fault condition. Okay, so if you observe, if it is in fault condition, then what is going to happen? So cell 10 is going to have more higher temperatures as compared to cell 20, because it is not in the fault. Cell 10 is in the fault. So in that condition also, we have to properly manage that. So for that purpose, we have the refrigeration cycle. Okay, so there are 4 processes in this refrigeration cycle. Okay, the first one is known as compression. This is the first step. So it is going to increase the pressure and temperature of the working gas. Okay, and the next step is condensation, that is through the condenser. So this is cycle point 2 will go here, and then condensation is one of the key heat exchange steps. Okay, so it is going to the hot gases of the refrigerant fluid condense into a liquid form, and which causes the latent heat of vaporization to flow into this environment. It will go into the environment in that condition. Okay, So thereafter, this expansion valve is there, and then the it will good expand, and then it will pass through the evaporator, which will cool down that liquid. Okay, and hence it this process will get happen. Okay, so overall this is going to happen, and how we are going to model this into the electric MATLAB that is shown over there. Now, if you observe, there is radiator, condenser, and this is four-way wall, motor pump is there, blower, heater pump, DC to DC converter is there, battery is there, and this is powertrain, inverter, motor, and charger. And then we have radiator bypass as well here. And this is chiller expansion wall and other things. So if you observe here, so there are three main subsystem which is going to make all this overall thermal model. Okay. So here, if you see, this is liquid coolant lines, which is you are able to see in the orange color. Okay, and it is going to run through the inverter, motor, okay, and the charging system, as well as through the battery and heater and DC, because sometimes battery needs to heat it up and sometimes it needs to be cooled down. So we need heater in both conditions. Now the heat from all these components is collected and expelled to the environmental using the radiator. If radiator is not enough, then we have the chiller. Okay, and then it will do the other part. Okay, the second atmosphere is is in the car cabin. We always need sometimes we need cooling into the cabin, and sometimes we need heat up into the cabin. So for that we have this PTC heater, and we have evaporator which is going to work like a AC. Okay. Now, why we need this thermal management? Because batteries get hot when charging or driving. So thereafter, motors and inverters, these motor and inverter and even charger create heat during operation. And sometimes the cabin need cooling or heating for the passenger both. So if temperature is not controlled, it is going to hamper the components of the electric vehicle. So as I have told you, there is two coolant loops. Okay. So like water pipelines in the car, that is there. So there is first loop related to this battery. Okay, so it is going to take away the heat from the battery and DC to DC converter through this valve. And then there is motor pump or motor loop, which is going to take heat away from the motor and inverter. Okay, and even on the onboard charger. So these loop carry hot coolant to the radiator, this one, or the chiller to remove the heat. If radiator is not enough, then chiller will get activated. Now, what is the purpose of this, parallel serial mode valve? So basically, series mode is going to work in mild or cold weather. Okay, so this will connect and act like a one long pipe, and heat from the motor can help the warm the battery. So we are going to utilize this one also. So heat, whatever heat is going to be generated from the motor, that we are going to utilize in order to heat up the battery so that we can save the energy. Okay. Thereafter, if the parallel mode is there, so I will tell you how would these, through the model, how these, series and parallel has been connected. Don't worry about that. Now loops is split into these separate part here. So if we have A to C and B to D, so it will become like a parallel. So motor loops control through the radiator. So this motor will get heat, it means heat will be transmitted through the radiator to the environment, and battery loops will cool through the chiller. So chiller will cool down the battery, because if battery is already heated up, we don't need extra heat from this. So we need to, these valves in parallel in that condition, and then chiller will chill the battery, cool down the battery. Thereafter, we have this refrigerator loop. Okay, so works like a home AC. So we have the compressor here. Okay, then we have the condenser, we have expansion wall, like chiller expansion wall is there, we have evaporator. So these all blue lines are interconnected with each other. So it will cool the battery through a chiller when the radiator is not enough. I have already told that. And thereafter we have cabin heating and cooling systems are there. So evaporator is going to works like AC. If sometimes we need the proper heat in the cabin, then we are going to turn on the PTC. So let me take you toward other things. So here the certain conditions will be there in the this model. Okay, let me take you to the thermal modeling. So if you see, this is the thermal model of whatever I have shown to you. So first of all, if you see, we have different scenario. First of all, if I would like to operate a drive cycle mode only scenario, so this is drive cycle. So here NEDC drive cycle has been used, and in certain condition we have given constant current, that is 30 ampere. Okay, we can operate this example into cool down mode also, and even in the cold weather also. Cool down means in the heating environment. So let's understand the drive cycle scenario. Just give me a moment. Let me have a water. So here we have the scenario environment. This is going to set up the environment for the battery in this model. Okay. Now the power demand by the battery and the environmental conditions, the pressure, the temperature, relative humidity, and CO2 fraction, everything has been modeled over here. You can make the changes in this data if you would like to. And then we have the, cabin HVAC requirements, temperature, which we want into the cabin. If we are going to change this parameter, it is going to affect the, and the power consumptions or the environment there, whether AC is on or off. So if it is on, so one is there, so it is going to consume more power in that condition. So this scenario subsystem is going to be created like this. You can go and explore all this. So here we have the relation between, so this is the data. So this is the relation is going to be represented in between the heat, the current which is going to flow through the inverter, how much heat has been caused because of that. So inverter heat, motor heat, charger heat versus current, and DC charger heat current has been given. So this is some data which we have given. Don't worry, I'll share this model to all of you so you can explore about it. Thereafter, we have the control subsystem over there, which is going to control all the controllers for the pumps, for the compressor, for the fan, blower. Okay. So for everything, it is going to do. So this is involves in the thermal management. So cabin air control, fan control, coolant loop control, and compressor control has been done through there. And there is another subsystem inside every control, so you can explore these things. So freezing cutoff has been done, minima maxima has been set. So minimum what temperature we need, what maximum temperature we need, everything can be commanded over there. As I have told you, serial and parallel mode. So here, if you see, if parallel mode is going to be happening into A to D and C to B. So if this A and D is going to connect with together, and C and B is going to connect with together, then it will be have like a parallel mode, which is going to be used in the heating environment. And if it is in the if the battery is going to be cool down in that mode, we need parallel mode. If battery needs heat, then we are going to use the serial mode, in which A and B will be connected with each other and C and D will be connected with each other. Okay, so this is valve, four-way valve. Thereafter, motor pump subsystem is here. So this is the motor pump maximum speed is written in the RPM. So that is 1000 RPM has been written over there, which is going to introduce the run the motor pump, and then fluid is going to move across it. Then we have the charger subsystem over here. So the same thing, we have the coolant jacket, and rather than using charger, we have given thermal mass of the charger, which is 1 kg, and specific heat is 447 joule per kg per Kelvin. Okay, so if you have any model of the charger having thermal behavior also, you can replace this model with that one, and then you can also test. So in that condition, you can find out the dynamic behavior of the things also. Thereafter, we have the motor subsystem as well. Okay. So here also we have the coolant. So similar kind of modeling has been done only in all this inverter and motor and in the charger also. So similar things has been used. Then we have this radiator subsystem. So in the radiator, we have different types of environmental air. So it is going to switch in between that as well. Thereafter, we have the compressor. Okay, so this is the compressor, positive displacement compressor we have used, and then we are going to give the command to the compressor to operate. Likewise, we have different other subsystems, so it is going to be quite similar to each other. So I will share all these examples to all of you, and then you can explore. Let me share the CC other methods also. So this CCCV method. So here, if you observe that, I would like to tell you that 15 ampere. Okay, so what is going to happen at 15 ampere? So let me run that model. So if you observe here in the scope, let me go and data cursor. So this is constant current phase. So I'm going to bring this constant current phase when this is 15 ampere. So in this phase, it is 15 ampere, and we are looking at the change in the current is 15 from 0 to 15. Okay, let me make the changes here. Okay, so this is 2939 second. For this much, it is going to be fast charging, and in another phase, it is going to be slow charging. And if you see the temperature rise, so let me, our focus is temperature right now. So change in temperature is going to be 1.3869. Okay, so that has been changed. If you look into the SOC changes 45.35. So in this way, you can explore more about any kind of system you are making. Thereafter, if I'm going to move this to the CV phase, so it is going to be like this. So this phase, this time is going to be, less, and you can see almost change in the value. Just a minute. Let me bring it to a little bit higher. 14.98. So from 15 to 14.98 means 0.0002 ampere is current now, and then it's going to be treated as it is going to be fully charged. So it will decrease. So this is how this is happening. If I'm going to change, sorry, this amount of current. So since it is 27 Ah battery, so I'm going to use 27 ampere over there. I'm going to run it for 10 hours. So this will get decrease as well here. So you can see this constant current timing has going to be decreased. Decrease. Okay. So 11, almost 1200 second. Earlier it was almost 2400 second where the fast charging was happening. Okay. Now let's move to the slide once again. I have to explain some more things about the EV component thermal management. So if we are going to run that into the different environment. So here you can observe this is in the drive condition. Okay, drive cycle condition. So vehicle speed was constant in this phase. Okay, and this is NEDC drive cycle. So cabin temperature is going to be rise. So cabin temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, which is coming initially, which is coming down around 21 degrees Celsius, sometimes getting up and down. Okay, we have set the limit 21, which I showed it to you. But the environmental condition is 30 degrees Celsius and set point is 21 for the cabin. Okay, so thereafter we have the parallel serial mode, chiller bypass mode, and radiator bypass is going to happen. Okay, so in this phase. Then if you observe this, because I didn't run that model because it will take time. I have just taken the screenshot after running that and I'm showing it to you so that it will not take your more time. So if you observe the heat flows rates here, just a minute, in the battery. So you can see there is condenser is going to take more heat flow rate. So more heat will flow through the condenser. So the scope shows the vehicle speed, heat dissipation, cabin temperature, component temperature, and everything. Okay. So the coolant tube is in serial condition, serial mode. In that time, it is going to be, uh, in serial mode. So it is going to have the chiller bypass at that time. Okay. Thereafter, this pump and compressor component temperature has been shown. So there is radiator condenser fan when it is getting on, when the compressor is getting on, pump is getting on. That has been shown over there. So this was for 3600 seconds. If you see the simulation result from the Simscape logging, you will observe that compressor is going to take more time. Okay, compressor is going to take more energy, sorry, power consume is going to take as compared to motor pump, battery pump, fan, blower. Okay, so the largest power consumption occurs in the refrigeration compressor when the chiller is used to cool the battery. So that's why it is always advisable to the user to use these batteries in certain, operating range and other things. I would like to show you one video demo also that we in the industry use to make the battery pack. Okay, so let me share that screen and play this video. So here you can see we have different types of lithium-ion cell batteries, and here you can see the, you know, cell data. I would like to show you the cell data. Just wait a minute. So this is your 10889 cell. This is generally 3.7 volt and 6 ampere hour battery, which we are going to connect and make a battery pack. So here it is going to be 3.7 volt. Our maximum 4.2 volt is going to be passed through that. And later we will arrange them into series and parallel. So this is known as cell spacer, which is going to create the space. So we generally sell paper, actually sell paper. So which in order to properly insulate the cell current, means anode and cathode plates from each other. So it will provide an insulation between them. This is cell spacer. Okay, generally it is 1085. So it will be connected into this way, and then battery pack will be designed. So we will arrange them into this way. So this is going to, we are going to create two modules in this video. So for two module, we need four types of, such kind of layers, one for upper and one for lower. Here we are going to arrange the cells into series and parallel. The flat portion of the cell is negative terminal, and the cut one is positive terminal. So that we are arranging into the series, because in series we have to connect the batteries into plus and minus way. So this is this layer is going to be in series with each other. And similarly, we have to do the other parts, and the similar anode or cathode is going to be arranged. So this uh, row or column is going to be in parallel, because similar kind of plate is there, anode or cathode plate is there, that we have arranged. Similar way, we have created another module, and then we are going to put another cell spacers in between them. Now you can see this is cylindrical, so they have proper spacing in between them. So that's why most of the industries are using this one, except the Tesla. They have dedicated battery thermal management system for their battery. They are using the prismatic cells also, and this is known as the seat, metal seat, made of silicon. This one is your spot welder machines, and then we are going to this is foot control machine. So we are going to apply the foot pressure over that to in order to operate the spot welding. So here you can see we are going to use this strip, and we are applying the pressure over that for the spot welding. Generally, nickel is used, so this might be nickel. If there will be no proper spot welding, then we have to remove. So we have to increase the dimension of the spot as well. It should not be very larger, otherwise it will hamper the other side of the battery. Okay, so that we have to take care at the time of the designing the battery pack. So this is how it is connected. This is the positive terminal, and this is the negative one. Okay, so this is the parallel assembly, and the series assembly has been done over there. In the similar way, we can connect, and this extra step is for connecting the BMS. Okay, over there. So if in the industry we follow the series and parallel rule, if we have enough, if we want the number of the batteries connected into the series, that will be known as 4S and 6P, for example, 6 in the parallel. So we have the 6 string in the parallel. Now, how to calculate these things? How to calculate the that we can do. So here, if suppose that cell was 3.7 volt, having the cell capacity is 2, then we have a battery pack voltage 48 and 90,000 watt hour we need. Or if we need 60 volt, then we have to write the 60 volt pack voltage overall, and the pack capacity will be 90 watt hour. And then we have to find out the total pack and other values. So we need cells into the series, that will be 17, and cells which is going to be in parallel, total cells is going to be 750, and total number of cells will be 12750 if we are using this one. If I'm going to use the increase the cell capacity and then run it, okay. So we still need 17 cells in the series, 1500 in parallel, 250 into the parallel. Total battery pack will be 1500 Ah, and then we need 4250. So if we are increasing this ampere hour capacity of the battery, then number of cells will decrease. So generally, if you see the data sheet of different types of lithium-ion batteries, they will have different AH. Okay, so the number of cells will get increased. So if we have very high specific energy density lithium ion like NCA, then we have to use less number of the cells. But if we are going to use LTO, which have very less specific energy, there this overall cell voltage will be around 2.2, 2.7. So that in that condition, we have to use very large number of cells also. So in that case, we have to take care of the battery thermal management properly. So this was all from my side. If you have any question, any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So these topics was very wide. So I tried to you know explain in the simple and other fa there was little bit fast because we had to cover many aspect of the battery modeling and thermal management. Because without that, we will not be able to understand why we need thermal management from each and everything. Okay, so heat, the motor is going to contribute to the heat, and likewise, we have to manage the motor heat as well as the battery heat. So battery is very, sensitive part of the electric vehicle, which requires proper take care through the battery management system, through the battery thermal management system, through the refrigeration system, through the other heat. Okay, because 40 to 50% of the cost goes to the battery. Okay, so that's all from my side. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Thank you very much, sir. Any query from the participants, please?
Sir, I have one doubt, sir. So
Yes,
for
yes, please.
BMS, sir, BMS, all ranges are available or only few ranges are available, sir? For
All
example,
ranges,
4
for
years,
example, yes.
4P you are saying. I am asking that 10S, 10P and
Yes, yes, it is
40S,
available, but
it is available.
very limited. Yes, very limited. Manufacturers are making it.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. Uh,
there
o-
are 17S, 25S, and it is
like that I need, sir.
customizable.
I
Yes,
need
it's
20S,
customizable.
20S and 20P. I want like that. It is
Okay.
available. It is available in Amazon, sir. Is that
Uh,
BMS?
uh, I think there are dedicated, companies through their website you can purchase. If you will not able to get it from the Amazon, then you can purchase that. I'll share that one company's link also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You can connect with me through the email ID.
Okay, sir. You can share your email ID, sir.
Sure, sure. In the
Ah.
very beginning, it was
So and
okay. So
also
you
circuit
can
diagram I need. Circuit diagram, is it possible to get circuit diagram, sir, for that
look,
20S
look. Circuit
BMS
diagram for
circuit diagram?
that. I
BMS,
will
BMS
share.
circuit diagram.
Yes, for the BMS, I will share that.
Ah,
Okay. So there is one, feedback form for you all. So kindly fill this form, share your details, and if you have any, area, things you would like to know more about, so we can connect through the call also. So you can share your feedback over it. Just give me a moment.
okay, sir.
So
Okay,
there is
thank you.
one query also, sir, in the chat window from Mr. Rangaraj. Uh, if you are able to see that.
सेशन ले रहा हूँ ऑनलाइन नहीं तो आ जाता मैं अकेले रहता हूँ Hello, sorry, there was a call.
Okay, sir. So there is one query in the chat window if you are
Hmm.
able to see that.
Actually, I cannot. I'm not able to see the window right now. Let me.
Okay, I'll read it for
Hello,
you, sir.
Yes, yes,
hello,
please, ma'am. Yes,
hello,
Uh,
yes.
yes, sir. Please, sir.
hello, sir. Thank you very much for providing insight outlook regarding the thermal behavior of the battery. Sir, I want to know, okay, what is how we can use PCM in thermal cooling?
Phase changing materials.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Look, we can use these things like it is going to have phase changing material
As sir,
based on the
as you have,
heat, and
sir,
it will change the shape.
as you have shown, sir, for cooling, because battery
Mhm.
cooling, it's when we are carrying away the heat by the either using any liquid medium and passing through its evaporator so that it can cool our chiller. So, if we are using phase change material, so how we can do this, that things, yeah, that is in the
Uh,
question.
Actually, it will absorb the heat as well as it will release the heat. That is the work of phase changing materials. Am I correct?
Yes, sir,
So
yes, sir, yes, sir.
yes. So there are different types of organic and inorganic material which is going to be used there. Okay, so they will have the thermal conductivity enhancer through which it will work.
Okay. So it means, sir, they will be used as the in pipe itself,
Yes, yes.
or we can
In the
implement
pipe
them.
through the pipe only it will circulate in the battery in the battery in through the motor. Okay, through the pipe only. So it will do in that way.
But in some batteries or in some research paper, I have seen that PCM they are using with the cell module by making a layer.
Yes, yes, it is. They are using the layer for that, and in inside
Even though they are making the
through the
casing of
channel
the
across the battery. Yes, through the
uh,
they will make the channel
they
in
are
the inside
making
the battery, which will let them pass.
even I have seen in batteries they using phase charge material as the casing material. Uh,
Mm, yes, 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 it will be.
okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank you
will
very
share
much, sir.
more documentation on this thing, PCM. Okay. Uh, because I have not worked upon this PCM till now, but I'm going to work upon those things soon. So if there will be some material, resources on that, I'll share it to you. You can mention those things into the, this feedback form as well. Okay?
So one query in the chat window, sir. How can
Yes, yes.
machine learning algorithms be applied to predict battery degradation and thermal behavior? And what
Uh,
impact can this have on the real-time monitoring and maintenance of EV battery systems?
Yes, that's a very good question. Actually, in the regression, through the learner app, we can create that model. So if we have that data where we are going to show all these parameters, then we can deploy these things into the BMS control algorithm, and then it will work accordingly. Okay, so we have to train that BMS controller in that way. So for that, we need to train the model based on data.
Okay.
Okay, and that will be continuous data. So regression is done on the continuous data.
I think that address the Mr. Rangaraj query. So any other query from the participants, please?
Now I can see the
Or
chats.
we are proceeding for the ending of session now.
How temperature decrease suddenly? Sivantam. Okay, so actually in the battery, once we are going to give the in the constant current, if I'm not getting wrong, you are asking about CCCV method. So in the constant current phase, we are applying 15 ampere of the current. So if SOC is going to increase, SOC of the battery, internal resistance is also going to decrease. Okay, so in that condition, I square our losses will get decreased, which will eventually decrease the temperature in that condition. Okay, so with increase, as I have told you, there is no very non-linear relation between the SOC temperature current kind of things. So that's why there in that you have seen that suddenly from 298 it was going 296 Kelvin. So if I'm not wrong, you are asking about that. So because of low, once the SOC is going to increase of the battery, internal resistance will also get decreased. And because of that, temperature will decrease. Okay, Sivantam?
I think Shivantam, I think that's address your query also. Sir has addressed that.
How can thermodynamic modeling be integrated with battery degradation analysis to enhance the safety protocols and design of next generation electric vehicle system? So if we have data logging, means if we have the data, how the battery's behavior is getting changed, how temperature is rising, that we can train through different machine learning algorithms, and then we can deploy it for the in that controller, and it will help us to properly manage the battery. So I hope this answer is also clear.
हाँ जी. Right. So I think there is no more query now, sir. So I'm again thankful on behalf of Shri Vishkarma Skill University to you, sir, so that you have taken the time from your busy schedule and have accepted our invitation to deliver this session and share your expertise with our participants across the India. So thank you very much once again, sir. I would request, sir, before
Pleasure
finally
was all mine,
concluding.
ma'am. Thank you for
Yes, thank you very
inviting me
much,
there.
sir. So I would
So,
request all of the participants to please turn on your webcam so that we can have a group photograph with sir.
okay,
So
let me turn off this. Okay. Am I okay? Let me share my video as well.
please, sir. Yes, sir. I'll just take a quick photograph and please let me take one or two so that.
Ma'am,
Yes, sir.
good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, we want to know what about the test and what is the time, because you have mentioned the test will be conducted tomorrow between
Yes,
6:30 and
I'll be just giving the information now, and we will be just saying a goodbye to sir, so that he may leave, and I'll be giving the complete information for tomorrow's schedule, right?
Okay, okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everyone for listening patiently. Okay, I hope it will help you. And if you have any doubt, anything you would like to know, feel free to connect with me through the LinkedIn or through the email ID. Okay?
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
So for
Bye.
the tomorrow
Good night.
schedule, good night, sir. Just wait a second. Tomorrow there will be 3 sessions starting from 2 o'clock. So first session is from 2 to 3:30. Next session is from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. And 5 o'clock to 7:30 will be the third session, right? Then we will be having the online test, and that will be through the Google form only. And it will be needs to be done mandatorily from 1 hour, that is 6:30. This test will be live, and it will be live up to 7:30 p.m. And at 7:30 p.m. we will be joining back again for the valedictory session, and it will be up to 8 p.m. So I hope that address the query regarding the test, right? So it will be an MCQ based test, and it is mandatory for all to attend, and minimum 70% score would be required in the test to give the to have the certification of the successful completion of the FTP.
Ma'am, we will
Yes,
be
sir.
given a Google form.
Yes, ma'am. I will be sharing the link, and then you will
Okay.
be attempting the test.
Okay. Then what about Atal?
Yes.
Atal.
Okay. I'm sharing that we will be, as coordinator, we will be sharing the complete score on the Atal portal, and by submitting one feedback form on the Atal portal, you will be able to download your certificate from the AICT portal only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other query from the participants regarding the complete certification and the other sessions as well? I hope I addressed your query. Is the test will be no, the test will be through the Google form that we will be sharing, and being the co-coordinator and the coordinator, we will be uploading the your score on the AICT portal. Then you will be able to download the certificate from the AICT portal, your respective participant portal only, right? Okay. So any other query? I hope. Tomorrow time is 2 o'clock, sir.
Ma'am,
Right.
can you share the PPT?
Yes, sir. We will be sharing all the recording sessions also, and we have requested all the experts to share their presentations. We will create a Google Drive link and we'll share it with you all, all the records.
Ma'am, is there have any other study material for preparing for the MCQ?
No, sir. As of now, no. We will be sharing. One expert has shared his presentation till now, and we have already requested so that we can have the presentation to be shared with you. I'll just share with you the recordings till date, right? So the link of today's FTP will be processed. It is taking some time. I'll be sharing today's link in by tomorrow. But the previous 4 days recording, I'll be sharing a Google Drive link with you all. Right? Okay. So we will be meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you everyone for being connected. So we'll meet you again tomorrow. Thank you, sir.